In today's video, we are talking about activity list for the common application. We'll be covering what is an activity list, how to choose activities for your list, how to prioritize your list, and how to fill out the questionnaire that comes with the activity list. My name is Niketa Bhatnagar and welcome to my channel, Homeschooling Basics. There are three essential components of the application process. First is the transcript, which is the classes that you took, your test score, your grades, your GPA. Then you have the essay, which talks about who you are, what kind of a person you are, what you're passionate about, why you're a good fit for this college, and so on. And then you have your activity list. In the activity list, you will share up to 10 extracurricular activities that you did during your high school career. Now, since most applicants, they have a very similar academic background, so colleges, the admissions officers, they use the essays and the activity list to differentiate and choose between students. So it's a very important step. It's very crucial that you block some time out so you can plan this step strategically. That's what we're going to do right now. So let's get on with it. Start by making a list of all the things, and I mean all the things. Don't be critical, just start everything that you have done since high school started. This could be if you're part of a school club or clubs outside. Maybe you play a sport or an instrument, write those down. Maybe volunteering, internship, part-time jobs, pre-college programs, tutoring. Maybe you fundraise for a cause, maybe you have a YouTube channel, maybe you have a hobby that you have pursued for an extended period of time, research, shadowing a doctor or something like that. All the things that you have done, just write them down. From this, we are going to shortlist it into 10 activities. What you're going to do is, in this list, you're going to look for activities that have at least one of the 5 qualities. And they are theme, impact, accomplishment, leadership, and time commitment. Let's talk about these for a minute. The first one was theme. The activity aligns with what you said you're passionate about in the essays, or maybe the activity aligns with the field that you plan to get into for school. For example, my son, he did a research survey in autism, misinformation in autism. And the field that he was applying to was psychology. In his essay, he talks about all things psychology, how he got into psychology, how he got interested in psychology, and why he's passionate about it and all that stuff. With this activity, he backed up what he said in the essays. So, if you're planning to get into computer science, if you're part of the robotics club that says that that's the activity that is in theme with the computer science. Or maybe if you're planning to apply for pre-med, so activities like volunteered at the hospital, did part-time job at the doctor's clinic, shadowing a doctor, all these are in theme with pre-med. So these are this is one type of activity that you want to include in your list. So the second thing that you want to look for is impact. If any of your activities have some sort of impact, on somebody, on the community. Again, picking on my son's example, he was part of an organizing committee for a hackathon for autism. So, that's an impact. And he also participated in Autism Fair. So that's an impact. He's giving to the community. So those are things that admissions officers look for. The third thing is accomplishment or achievement. If you've had some sort of awards, or this could be even a black belt, or if you made it to varsity level in the sport in school, these are all accomplishments and achievements. We are talking about extracurricular accomplishment and achievement. All your academic achievements they have a separate section, honors and awards, that's a separate thing. And we'll talk about that in a separate video. But all your academic achievements and awards go in that section. Over here, only your extracurricular achievements come. So that's the third thing that you want to look for, the third type of activity that you want to look for from your list. The fourth one is leadership. If you held any leadership positions, that's great. You want to definitely include those. If maybe you were team lead of the robotics club in your school, chess club, or anything of that sort, you want to include that. Then the fifth thing is time commitment. If you were involved in any activity, even hobbies, for an extended period of time, you want to include that. Of course, not video games, but any constructive things. Also, typically you want to include only activities that you've done in high school, but some activities like dance or martial arts, kids have been involved in second grade, and you can include that. What you can do is, just write ballet, second grade to 11th grade, or till whenever you're involved. So that's time commit. What you're showing to the admissions officer is consistency, and that you can follow through. So these are what you're going to do. That was the fifth thing. So these are 5 things you want to look for in the activities that you have listed, and pull out 10 activities from that list that showcase at least one of these 5 qualities. That will just make your activity list that much more impactful. Now that you have identified your activities, let's put them in order. Your top 3 to 4 activities need to be your best activities. Admissions officers, they don't have a lot of time to go through each application in detail. So you want to quickly grab their attention and be memorable. Start with the theme activities, the ones that provide evidence to your essays. Start with those, unless they are a one-off activity, you've not put in a lot of hours in there, don't start with that. Time and effort do matter, so skip those. Include those, but don't start with those. Next, you could follow it up with activities where you have achieved or accomplished or leadership positions. You can start follow it up with that, following with where you've spent a lot of time. So that's how you would rest, and the rest go underneath that. Of course, if you have an activity that you're really proud of, you've put in a lot of, and you think that it's a really standout activity, start with those. Definitely start with those. As I said, you want to grab their attention. You want to stand above the applicant pool. So definitely, if you feel that there is something that you have done that's very different, that's very unique, start with that. So that's how you would order your activities: something unique, theme, and then accomplishment, leadership, and then time, effort, and then the rest. So that's the order that would, in my opinion, serve you best. So far, we have identified our activities, we have prioritized them. Now it's the big one, the questionnaire. Each activity comes with 9 questions that you have to answer, 9 fields that you have to fill. Let's see how we can do that. The first question is activity type. This is a very easy one. You just have to choose what type of activity it is. There is a drop-down menu that you can choose from. If you can't still figure out, if it's something different that you have done, you can't figure out what activity is best for it, try Googling it and see what category it fits under. If still you can't figure out, they have an option for other at the bottom of the drop-down menu. Just choose that. So that's your activity type. That's the question number 1. Question number 2, 3, 4 are the 3 most important questions on your questionnaire. You're going to spend a decent amount of time answering this. They each have a character limit of 50, 100, and 150, 100, and 150 respectively. So you want to get creative when you're answering this. So between the 3 of these, you want to give out maximum information of what you did. Let's talk about question number 2. Question number 2 is the leadership/position description. It has a maximum character limit of 50. Now you can simply write president or editor, but instead you want to use those characters. You can write editor of the sports column or editor of the international column. Just get a bit more descriptive of what you did. Or another example is if you are president in the 12th grade, president of the robotics club in the 12th grade, and you were vice president in the 11th grade, include both those titles. This would show an upward trajectory of your leadership. Then the third example would be if you have if you hold multiple responsibilities within the same organization. Maybe you are the founder as well as the treasurer of the club. So you can include both those titles in the description, position/leadership description. This way you're taking off some of the load of the other 2 questions. Let's move on to question number 3. Question number 3 is the organization name. You have 100 characters to answer this question, which I kind of think is a little bit funny. I mean, this is what 100 characters look like. That's a lot of space. I mean, what organization has this big a name? Most of the time it is just mock trial or robotics club, chess club. At the best, it would be the school's name, robotics club, right? So what do you do with all this extra space? You use it. You can use it to talk a little bit about the club. Brag a little bit about the club. So something like a mock trial finalist 2023, national finalist 2023, or state level 2023, something like that. Essentially what you're doing is showing the admissions officers that what an amazing exclusive this organization is, and if you are part of this organization, you must be good too. So that's what you can use the extra space in the organization name. You're also taking off some of the load from the description, which is the next question. Question number 4 is activity description. You have 150 characters to answer this question. Start by making a list of all that you did for this activity. Go back and think, what was my role? What was my responsibility? Were there any problems I solved? What was the impact? Did I achieve something? Did I learn something, some values, some skills during or for this activity? So make a list of everything that you did for this activity, and then we're going to consolidate into 150 words. And I have 5 tips for you to do just that. Number 1, use strong verbs. Strong verbs such as founded, led, coordinated, collaborated, mentored. You can find these online. Just Google strong verbs and you'll get a list of this. A word of caution, make sure you're not repeating the same word over and over again over the different activities. So it shouldn't become like organized, 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 Just be careful of that. Tip number 2, choose tasks that show accomplishment, leadership, impact. Tip number 3, quantify your impact. So instead of saying raised money, you can say raised $1,000, or taught kids, tutored 40 kids. Just quantify that. This gives the admissions officer a scope of what you have done. Tip number 4, use external validation. Maybe you have worked with a professor of some university, or you have performed at Carnegie Hall. So make sure you mention that. In other words, name drop. And tip number 5 is don't use long sentences, work on shortening them. You can, instead of writing A and D, you can just use the character A, the and. Instead of writing approximately, just do approx. Things like that. Work on shortening your sentences because you have only 150 characters. So these are my top 5 tips for writing your activity description. Question number 5, 6, 7, 8 are very easy. Question 5 is what grade you did this activity in. Question 6 is when did you do this activity? Was it during school year, during breaks, during summer break? Question number 7 is how many hours per week you spent on this activity. Question 8 is how many weeks per year you spent on this activity. My only tip for the last 2 questions is to do not exaggerate, do not overestimate. Stay true to the amount of time that you spent on this activity. You do not want to cause any doubt or raise any flags in the admission officer's mind. So that's what I would say. Question number 9 is, would you be interested in doing this activity in college? My suggestion for you is to say yes. On one side, you're saying that these activities are important to you, you are excited about doing them. And then if you're saying no, you're kind of contradicting yourself. So I would suggest just say yes, and you can deal with it when the time comes, I guess. So that's it. You are done with filling the activity list. You're ready to hit the submit button. Go over it once again to make sure you did everything the way you're supposed to. And that's that. I hope that you found this video helpful, and I wish you guys all the luck and success. Best of luck.